Welcome to my studio, Rose Room Recording. This is my exclusive video for Vintage Guitar magazine readers and online fans. So I'm just going to give you a very quick rundown of the gear that I actually used to record my first CD plugged in. And we'll just give you a start right here with my favorite guitar. Actually is the yellow Strat. And this is actually a master built by John Cruz, just a few years old, and it's actually one of those cases where I think the new actually beat the vintage, because I have it and I'll show it to you in a minute. Next though is, I use this on Austin. This is a 1959 ES-175 with the world's most wonderful PAF pickups, and it's a lovely guitar. Here is probably about 40% of the album I did on this. Song for Daphne was one. This is a 1961 ES-175, or sorry, 335. Also with PAF pickups. I love this guitar. This is a guitar that cannot be beaten by modern day guitars, in my opinion. And we'll just do this once. I'll talk about the amps as I go by them too. This is a 72 high watt. I use this on Galen's Vice. This is probably, I think, a 79 vintage Marshall cab, the one with the 80 watts speakers in it. And this one here is about the 1972. I use most of the time actually with the Celestians. 25 watt speakers in it. And then a good portion of the time I use a Memory Man for delays. Barracuda Flanger, which is great. The Strymon L cap. Usually on the recordings I actually use the tape echoes that I have, but I did work hard and have figured out this in combination with a Echoplex Preamp pedal can do a very good emulation without all the headaches of the tapes. This is the Big Muff. I consider this one to be a magic piece, 1970 I believe, or 71, 72. It's actually starting to get really loud on me, but it's a great piece, one of my favorites. I bought another vintage one of these and it didn't sound as good. This is a Collings acoustic. I use this on well, country, and if you listen closely on a number of songs, actually there's a little bit of acoustic guitar in the background. This is my Les Paul. Everybody needs one for power chords. This has actually got a Brazilian rosewood neck on it. It's about a 2004 R9, one of the best reproductions they ever did of the original. Great guitar. I have two Born guitars here. One I kind of made to back up my favorite yellow guitar. And I actually got a little whammy bar on this one that I like a lot better than the Fender ones. They do beautiful work, very articulate guitars. This is the second Born. These a lot of reclaimed wood, which is really kind of cool but beautiful. I mean, the workmanship that went into this is just awesome. I actually use this one on Funk Opus. It really does wail like a rock guitar. Live I use it to replace the 335. This is a 65 Strat. Love the neck on this. I've just never liked it as much as my yellow one. I just find my yellow Strat's pure magic. But this is one of those classic pieces. I also have a Eric Johnson signature Strat. I love Eric Johnson, so I thought if I had a Strat it would put some Eric Johnson in me. I don't know if it has. But we try. Recently I've been actually using the Maxon analog delay a lot, kind of in that same setup I told you with the Echoplex and Echoplex Preamp, and any fuzz pedal will do. You just got to tweak it around. Once you figure that one out, save you a lot of money and headaches. Actually go to the amps first. This is 1965 Plexi, 1967 Plexi. This is was used on Bon Jovi's first album and both of Skid Row's album. I got it from Dave the Snake Sabo, and it's signed by Ken Fisher. It was maintained by him. Bit of a rat's nest actually when I got it, but don't tell anybody. This is the original Roland Space Echo. Very cool toy to have in the arsenal. This is my Mutron board. I basically collected all these Mutron effects and then racked them all up in one board. It's kind of neat. This is the Flanger, which is responsible for all those crazy noises on the end of Rock Jam with all the dive bomb flanger action. And actually I lost that sound because shortly after I finished recording that, one of the capacitors or something blew out on this, so I sent it back actually to Mike Beagle and he fixed it for me. But unfortunately he fixed it so well that I no longer get that craziness that was in there, so now it's just a flanger. Before it was like something else. But too bad, that sound is gone. There's a biphase, Mutron 3, the octave divider, all very cool analog stuff. Majority of the lead sound I got was actually just using the 54 Deluxe. That's just an awesome amp. Fortunately it's not loud enough for live, but I use that for most of the recordings. And then I also use the Marshall that I have over here, which is a Blues Breaker replica. I actually have a guy who built it for me. I sourced all the parts NOS on eBay. I think from Russia and Greece came the resistors and capacitors. The only thing that's not NOS is the transformers, which are mercury magnetics, which are awesome. I actually have the original Blues Breaker speakers in there, which took me 2 years to find. The first one I found on eBay, which I think was the first time one of them had ever been sold on eBay, and I snapped it up. And then a year and a half later I was lucky enough to find another one here in Canada. These are two twin replicas, same idea. I have the 63s in the other room. Actually I think these are a little bit cleaner and a little less headache than the originals, so I thought I'd just keep those safe and collectible. So usually when I recorded live, I'd actually just plug the pedals in and figure that one out because, you know, short cables, pure tone, use as much analog stuff as I could. Sorry, when I did the album, but when I'm playing live, that's just not realistic. I got too many sounds going on. So we've racked up a bunch of pedals that I use in here, and they are controlled from the RJM controller So I can just set up per song and per section of song. I can just keep it very simple so I don't have to think when I'm playing. Because that tends to confuse me. So here, actually I use this a lot on the album too. This is an original 1982 Screamer TS-808. Probably my favorite overdrive pedal, no question about it. I've rehoused a King of Tone in here. This is the original Fuzz Face, or one of the, in 1970 I think. Fuzz Face, which I put in here. And then on here I have a Fuzz Factory for some crazy fuzz sounds. This is what I've replaced the Big Muff with live, because it's smaller. A little quieter, actually a lot quieter. A lot more, I can roll back on it with the volume without having a roar. So that's really nice. And this is the Echoplex Preamp I keep talking about. Great little device. I just roll the volume back on it. It really makes a cream sound. Oh, and then I have the gold H9, which I use for like special effects like whammy and the harmonizer. Yeah, it's not bad. I find that there's a little bit of a EQ thing that this does to the signal, so I don't use it for a lot of stuff. But I do find it handy for the whammy and stuff. Use two timelines, so basically I typically have a memory man type preset in here, and a tape echo type preset in here, and then crazy reverbs in here, which is really what I use that for, just the wild sounds. And then in here I have like Flanger and other modulation effects. And then I can just program everything with MIDI and control it per presets from the board. I only use the Twins at once or the Fender, kind of like the Eric Johnson style setup. And then, like I said, most of it I think I already went over the Deluxe. And that's the rig.